Let's go for it!
Hey everybody, what's going on? It's me, your buddy Dave here, back with the dark stuff. Got another video for you today. I have a lot of new records that I picked up over the last couple of weeks, so that's what we're going to be discussing, showing, whatever, in this particular video. I'm going to just jump right into it. I did pick up the new Kiss live album, Kiss Rocks Vegas.
Alright! You know, we may be under clear blue skies, but you know, it's getting a little cool out tonight, but that ain't gonna stop us. This is for all the little girls out there. We got some girls out there tonight.
I went with the 2 LP DVD set. I kind of don't really like DVDs. I prefer Blu-rays, but they didn't make a vinyl and Blu-ray combination. You either had to buy the vinyl that came with a DVD and then buy the Blu-ray separately or whatever. So I guess it really doesn't make that much difference. Technically, that's what's playing on the screen back there is the DVD that comes with it. The album itself, I mean, I'm a little disappointed with it. And first of all, here's the little hype sticker. It's on 140 gram vinyl. Who does 140 gram? It's either 180 or you don't mention it, really. I mean, that's kind of like the whole thing. But the collection, the packaging is pretty nice. I'm going to try and hold it up here. It's a double album. Okay. In November 2014, Kiss played a historic 9-show run at Hard Rock Hotel in Las Vegas for a select and fortunate few that had never seen the likes of this, you know? Anyways, in comparison to previous Kiss live albums, i.e. Alive 1 and Alive 2, it doesn't even come close. I've never been a big fan of Alive 3 because I think it's too overproduced, and I would say even that is still probably better than this one. This is okay, but I gotta say, like, Paul's voice is not totally together on this one. Song selection, I mean, it's okay, again, but they waste time putting, like, Hell or Hallelujah on there and some other stuff, but whatever, it's a Kiss collection. You knew I was gonna get it, so I did. The packaging looks very, very nice, and if you're a fan of the current incarnation of Kiss, I would say that you're probably already down with it anyways, so you might as well just go ahead and pick it up. Okay, then I picked up the new album from Wilco. This is their brand new album, Schmilko. Okay. The sort of strange artwork. This is probably like Wilco's 10th album or so. I mean, I'm not exactly sure. Mine's on black vinyl. Comes in a nice anti-static sleeve. It's a very, very mellow record from a quality standpoint. The inside, of course, has lyrics and credits. If you're a fan of Wilco, you know that they've been getting progressively mellower on each album, to the point where this album is practically just all acoustic songs, and there's really no pick-me-up. Now, that's okay, because I still dig the mellower Wilco, but I don't know, I'd like them to pick up the pace a little bit on this one, but I'm hardly going to criticize it, because I love Jeff Tweedy's voice. I like the way this band plays. These guys are great. It's a nice package, and I don't know. What are you going to say? I'm still behind Wilco. I'm not really knocking it at all. Okay, next up, I grabbed this live record from Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, and this one's called Kiss My Amps Live Volume 2. This just came out, I believe, for Record Store Day this year, but I didn't pick it up at Record Store Day. I just picked it up at the store, and this is pretty cool. I want to find Volume 1 because I don't have that. These are songs all recorded in 2013, and they do say it's rarities and covers. There are some covers, So You Want to Be a Rock and Roll Star from the Byrds, but I'm sorry, Tom Petty put that on a live album 30 years ago, so it's not like that's really all that rare. I'm Not Your Stepping Stone, I guess that's the Monkees. Love Is a Long Road. I mean, that's some Petty solo stuff. And then a couple of regular Petty covers. The Best of Everything, Rebels, A Woman in Love. All great recordings. Tweeter and the Monkey Man, that was a Traveling Wilburys track. So, anyways, of course, it's impeccably produced. I mean, everything sounds perfect. It's, you know, it's a really solid album. It's recorded well. It's mastered well. It's pressed well. Everything. A little light on the credits. I mean, you just got your white sleeve, and then you got nothing else. So I guess that's the only knock on it. But basically, it's a pretty nice collection. I'm a Petty fan. Next up, I picked up a copy of a reissue of the Strokes' first album, Is This It? Okay, and it's got a gatefold cover. Now, the only thing really special about this collection is that, well, one, it still features the American cover, okay? Throughout Europe and a lot of other countries, this is not the cover. I'll put up a picture of what their cover looks like. I guess it was too risque or something, so they put this sort of bland-looking picture, but whatever, it worked. It was a big record. It also includes the song New York City Cops, which is on here on side B. That was, again, on the European release of the album and in most countries, but in the United States, it was removed from the album. That was because it was being released right around the time of 9/11, and they thought, the record company got a little squeamish and nervous because they thought maybe the song was going to be perceived as anti-cop, when in 9/11, New York City cops were like revered and were put up on a pedestal because so many of them died in the bombing and all that. So they just thought it'd be probably prudent to take it off. It's not even an anti-police song that much anyways, but nobody probably would have noticed. But anyways, it's put back on here. So if you've never heard it, if you have a CD of the Strokes' Is This It from the early days, it doesn't have that song. And now if you get the new version, it does. So that's a nice bonus. Yeah, I got that Strokes album and this next album both at the Nebraska Furniture Mart, which I've referenced them in videos here before. It's a gigantic furniture store that also has a media section. And they sell vinyl, but it's ridiculously overpriced, and so I just won't buy any of it there because I'm not going to pay, you know, $35 for an LP. But they had a whole bunch in their cutout or their discount bin, so now they're almost half price, which says they're not going to be getting too much more vinyl anymore. They're probably just going to sell what they have off. So I picked up that Strokes one cheap, and I got the new one from the Dead Weather, which I already had on CD, but I mean I saw it discounted on vinyl, and I decided to get it. This album is fucking amazing. I love this. I mean, it's so good. This is my current favorite project from Jack White, without a doubt. I mean, the White Stripes are never coming back. Probably not. The Raconteurs doesn't look like they're gonna come back. So it's either Jack solo or you got this, and I'm down with the Dead Weather. And then, speaking of Jack White, since we're already on the subject, I'll jump out of order a little bit. I picked up his new collection on CD. It's called Acoustic Recordings 1998 to 2016. It's a nice collection with a booklet and everything. I decided not to get it on vinyl because it was way more expensive, and the CD was like $13.99 or something on sale. And I got it, you know, it's acoustic songs. It features the White Stripes, some Raconteurs, and then some Jack White solo. Only a handful of unreleased tracks, but if you're looking for, you know, a good place to have all of that acoustic stuff together, or a primer on Jack White, this is a pretty good set. I mean, I had most of this stuff except for the handful of unreleased songs because I'm not like a fervent Jack White collector. I just get the regular albums, and that kind of works for me. So again, the Jack White there. Okay, then I got sort of a new old 7-inch here from Bright Eyes. This is a reissue of a single that came out in about the year 2000 or so. It's really early stuff. Features Motion Sickness and Soon You Will Be Leaving Your Man. Really early acoustic Bright Eyes. Perfect, because I know that Conor Oberst is within a week or so of releasing a new album, and his new album is acoustic or piano based. And, you know, perfect timing for someone to reissue an old Bright Eyes single. As far as some used records, I did pick up a couple. I went to Almost Music. I got this copy of Mountain Avalanche. I don't have any Mountain records, but I've always kind of thought I would like Mountain because Leslie West is a pretty awesome guitar player, and I know he did some ghost playing on some Who records, and he's just considered quite good. I listened to side one of this. It has a couple of covers, Whole Lot of Shaking Going On and Satisfaction, which were, Whole Lot of Shaking Going On was pretty good. their satisfaction was just all right. It's pretty cool. 1974 CBS Records from Mountain. This next record is from the Starlight Desperation. They're a band that's sort of from Detroit, sort of from San Diego. This is a record called Go Kill Mice. That was their debut. Yeah, I mean, I like these guys. This is a cool record. I was glad to have got it. And I now have all 3 of the Starlight Desperation albums. I believe they broke up probably like 10 years ago or so, but I was glad to find this. Pretty cheap, only $8 for this one. This is a big score for me because I didn't even know this existed, okay? This is Danny and Dusty with The Lost Weekend. And what it is it's a bunch of guys, members of the Dream Syndicate, the Long Riders, Green on Red. In the 80s, they got together for a drunken weekend, literally, and recorded a whole bunch of songs. And this is the the final output of it. It's also a gold stamped promo. And I'm just a big fan of Steve Wynn from the Dream Syndicate. I think he's great, and his solo material is really great as well. So I don't know the other guys, but what I do know is this Dennis Duck plays drums for the Dream Syndicate, and the album was produced by Paul Cutler, who later went on to be a member of the Dream Syndicate at the end of the band. This is recorded February 1985 in Los Angeles. This is a nice rarity that I did not know exists. I'm flipping through records. I saw Steve Wynn's face on it, and I'm like, oh, I'm getting it. You know, just getting it. Geils Band, Love Stinks.
Love Stinks.
I always liked their late 70s, early 80s material, and that song Love Stinks is pretty great. I mean, these guys were like a radio staple when I was a kid. You could not escape the Geils Band, especially that album Centerfold, because they had so many hits, and that was right when I was like 10, 11 years old. You could not escape Geils, and that's, you know, good stuff. Picked up this 12-inch single from Kurtis Blow for Rappin' Blow.
I'm the guy named Kurtis Blow, and Christmas is one thing I know. And every year, just about this time, we'll celebrate it with a rhyme.
The Sneaky Freak Hotline. You can call in there. Yeah, it's just a 12-inch from Kurtis Blow. The same song, one is the instrumental, one is the actual rap on it from 1979. And my last piece of vinyl is a promo version of this thing called Just Hooked on Country.
I'm hooked on country music.
This is so stupid. It's the Atlanta Pops Orchestra doing country songs that were popular in like 1980, 81. There used to be all these like hooked on whatever with pops, groups, pop orchestras doing contemporary songs, and they would actually somehow sell records. I mean, again, I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry. I did have one more piece of vinyl. This is a 7-inch from Fluff that I bought. Okay, and they do Sheila and a Gig by PJ Harvey on it, and I used to have this, and somehow I don't anymore, but now I do. I've reacquired it. Great stuff. Fluff doing Sheila and a Gig. It's a fantastic cover. They're kind of a sludgy, heavy band from the 90s, and it's a good version of it. As far as CDs go, recent stuff that I picked up from the show, I'll breeze through these really quickly. The new one from Against Me, Shape Shift With Me, great stuff.
What happened to us? What happened to us? What happened to something that never was? I'm gonna trash landing.
This band is on a serious roll. I used to dismiss Against Me because I've realized that I kind of got them confused with a band called Rise Against. And I heard Rise Against and I thought they suck, and then I thought they were against me. And so I just sort of ignored Against Me for years. And then when the whole thing about Laura Jane Grace and the transitioning into being a woman or whatever and got a lot of attention, they put out that album called Transgender Dysphoria Blues, and I decided to give it a listen again, thinking, okay, maybe something's different going on. And it was just, it clicked with me. The album was so good. I've since gone back and bought like 4 or 5 other Against Me albums. I'm now a big fan, and I kind of wish I'd never gotten them confused with that other band in the first place. So this is the new one, Shapeshift With Me. It's great, catchy, poppy, punk rock, good stuff. The new one from Warpaint, Heads Up. This is an all-female band from LA, and this is, I think, their 3rd album. And these guys are a really, really great indie band.
Is there a question not answered in your mind? Before you know the answer, you're running out of time.
Great players, too. Really excellent players. Here's the new one from the Pixies. It's got pretty crazy packaging. It's called Head Carrier. And you can pull this flap up, and this flap up, and this one up. And it's got this interesting artwork. You know, the album, what I've heard so far, isn't that bad. I mean, I also didn't think that the last album, Indie Cindy, was all that bad either, though it seemed to me that got a lot of terrible reviews, and old school fans seem to really dislike it. Now, I'm not going to make the mistake of comparing this new Pixies album to their peak period of the late 80s, early 90s, because that's just not fair necessarily. You got to kind of judge it on its own, and on its own, it's a decent record. And this this new bass player, what's her name? Paz Linchanton, seems to have fit in pretty well. She's on backup vocals on a number of tracks, and I don't know. It's a good Pixies record. If you're not sitting here going, this isn't as good as Doolittle, this isn't as good as Trompe Le Monde, this isn't as good as... Well, yeah, it's not as good as those albums, but every band, you can only have their one peak period, you know? But still, I'd take this over most bands, what they're churning out these days. So, again, don't believe the hype that this new Pixie stuff is all rotten, because it's not. It's decent. If you're going to say, well, compare every song to Debaser or something, well, I mean, you're going to be disappointed. But so maybe don't do that. Okay. New one from Beach Slang is here. A Loud Bash of Teenage Feelings. Great title. Great title. New one from Beach Slang. This is a great, punked up band. I like their lyrics, and I like their album titles, because they come up with great titles like A Loud Bash of Teenage Feelings. These guys are coming to town at the end of this month, end of October. I'm going to check them out along with Bleached, and I'm looking forward to seeing them. And hopefully they're really good live. I would imagine they are. That show might be packed, and I think they're going to have to move that to a bigger room, but that's just me. And then the last CD, I'm going to re-reference this group, Public Access TV. I talked about their single, End of an Era, a couple videos back, and I was saying I was really excited about the album, because when I'd seen them live, they were so good. And they just blew me away live, and I was really looking forward to picking up the album. I got the album now, and I'm sorry to say it's just kind of a disappointment. I mean, it's just not at the level of where they were at live. That live show was so good, and this is just really tame. I don't know what the deal is. It just doesn't pack the same sort of sonic punch that they did live. These songs are just overly produced and very just kind of like, I don't know. There's no edge to it. I don't know. I wanted to like this so bad, and I go out of my way really not to like rank on records and talk about records I don't like. I try to just talk about stuff I do like when I'm actually sort of reviewing something, but I said I would bring that reference that once I got the whole thing, and now I'm doing that, and it's just, I don't know. All right, everybody. Hope you got something out of this video today. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.